Ladies and gentlemen, now it's the time for a session that promises to keep you at the edge of your seats. Anna to AAP, mass movement to political party to governance. Let me introduce the participants to you and I request them to come up on stage. The participants are Ashutosh. He is a former TV journalist turned politician of the Aam Aadmi Party. He's also the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. He was previously associated with IBN 7 of TV18 as managing editor. Ashwin Mahesh. Ashwin Mahesh is the National Vice President of Lok Satta Party. He was one of the principal organizers of the IAC movement in Karnataka and has worked closely with the anti-corruption movement from its inception. Also with Lok Satta, he has been involved in national campaigns for electoral reforms and the decriminalization of politics. And we have Sambit Patra, politician and spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. In 2006, he founded Swaraj, an NGO which aims to support backward communities in hygiene and healthcare facilities. The NGO mainly comprises doctors, lawyers, and police officers. Looks like a very warm and cordial stage at this point in time as I leave you with the panelists. Hope it turns a little more action-packed after this.
Hello.
It should be working, but it's not.
Hello.
Someone has to change the mic. Actually, the mic is not working.
Hello.
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 Okay. Good evening to everybody, and welcome to this session of the Literary Festival. Sambit, Ashutosh, both of you welcome. I've sort of been put in this situation of having to moderate something, which, as the announcer herself said, is going to turn into a slugfest fairly quickly, so I hope that's not the case. Broadly, there are two questions that I think will pervade this debate again and again. And for you, Ashutosh, the likely question is going to be, do you know how to do the job? Which is going to keep coming back again and again. And for you, can you do anything more than talk about the job? And this is how it's going to go for the rest of the hour. And I should say one other thing. Having sort of tried to be part of pushing all this along since almost the very first day of India Against Corruption, I'm happy about some of the things that have happened in the country, both from the BJP, it's not a one-sided comment, both from the BJP and with AAP, and not happy about some of the other things that aren't happening or need to happen. So without much ado, we're going to get started with this thing. I'm going to give you a first crack at it, which is to say, do you know how to do anything other than talk about the job?
The topic, first, hello to all of you. Hello, Bangalore, and hello, all the participants of the Lit Fest. Hi to Ashutosh and Ashwinji. I believe a lot of you have watched the news hours, and that's the reason as to why you have said that it's going to be fast, a slugfest between both of us. I don't believe it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be an academic discussion. As far as the topic is concerned, from Anna to AAP, I would say a lot has changed. From 100% denial to 400% acceptance. From 100% denial that we would not be taking any kind of political perks to 400% acceptance of the salary about which we talked yesterday. And the good part is that both me and Ashutosh were on various television channels yesterday debating two particular issues. One was a salary hike and the other, which turned up later in the evening, the odd number, even number car. And I connected both of them in a very difficult way. If you would go through this 400% hike in salary, you would find in the perk session that approximately 12 lakhs would be the loan amount sanctioned to each of the Aam Aadmi Party MLA. Since most of the MLAs in the assembly are Aam Aadmi Party MLA, so naturally they would be getting 12 lakh per head to buy a car. So I was asked yesterday, from a small car to a big car, is this the transition the Aam Aadmi Party is seeing? I told no. It was Anjana. I told Anjana ji, गलती है, ऐसा नहीं है. ये छोटी गाड़ी ही खरीदेंगे, but दो गाड़ी खरीदेंगे, एक sum number, एक विषम number. They'll buy two cars, one even number and one odd number, because after all, they are no more armed. They cannot move in the metro now, they will need cars. No offense meant, this is political. On a serious note, I firmly believe that the biggest of big change comes gradually. Nothing is very sudden, nothing is overnight. Anything that is overnight is generally fulfillment of ambition. It is your ambition's creed that you cry games overnight. What we have seen in Aam Aadmi, the phenomena that we have seen from the movement of IAC to Aam Aadmi Party formation, and their coming to power in Delhi is phenomenal, I would say. Well, yes, we are in opposition. I'm their political opponent, but let me congratulate over here, on the floor, Mr. Ashutosh and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. They have created history in the political circle. In a very short span of time, what they did was absolutely phenomenal. We may be opponents, but we are not enemies. And if they have done something which is really historic, that should be accepted, that should be accoladed, that should be applauded. And I'm applauding that. But as to why I am saddened, I'm saddened because of the fact that the kind of aspirations that they had raised. You remember, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal had said that even the court proceedings that take place in the Delhi courts, they should be videographed and they should be telecast. They should be live proceedings in the court. I was saddened the day when Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan ji were removed. They were to attend the executive meet of their party, and all of them, including, I believe, my good friend Ashutosh ji, was told, please keep your mobile phones outside. None of you are allowed to take your mobile phones inside, lest you capture what is happening inside. The ones who wanted everything to be live telecasted did not want their own happenings inside to be telecasted to the world. This is what has changed from Anna to AAP. The ones who were listing corrupt leaders, you would remember, approximately 13 to 20 corrupt leaders, they came out with a huge list. And I was astonished that day. Pranab Da was to become the president. And if I'm not wrong, they even had his name in the list. And when his name was announced for the president, they were crying as if a big fish has missed the net. Oh my God, now he's becoming the president, what would we do? We would not be able to catch him. But his name is in the list. And do you know whose name was in the top of the list? The one who pulled Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and hugged him. Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav headed the list. From listing the corrupts to hugging the corrupts was a great change from Anna to Aam Aadmi Party. Yes, I would say from rhetorics to prudence might be.
Somewhere along this, I'm going to ask you to answer the question too, which is a little different from the... I'm not sure.
It's working.
Hello? I'm not sure. It keeps going on. What I was saying is that somewhere along the line, I'm going to ask you to answer the question too. I'll give him his chance to talk about your party as well. But my question to you was, do you know anything other than how to talk about the solutions?
See, you know, we are the spokespersons of the party. Whatever you ask, we are supposed to answer what we are supposed to answer.
In that
and
case,
that's what I was doing.
In that case, your turn is over.
Look at him.
Now we'll go this way. Now, Ashutosh.
Ashwin, I'll tell you.
I'm going to come back to you.
Ashwin,
I'm going to come
just
back
the last line. I'll tell you. We have faced one of the draconian anchors. So don't say your turn is over and I will not allow you to speak.
I'm going to come back to you. Your turn will come back. Well, you know, where do you want to start? Do you want to have a go at him first or answer the question? I think, like him, you'll have a go at him first anyway.
See, fortunately or unfortunately, I am not the only spokesperson in my party. My responsibility is also to do some solid work on the ground level. And right now, my responsibility is to build organization all across India to coordinate with different state units also. So I will not just only talk for the sake of talk, as a spokesperson normally do. Let me tell you one thing very frankly that, firstly, I'm very surprised to see my dear friend, Mr. Sambit Patra, to congratulate me and realizing the fact that something is changing in this country. But as you know, as a different spokesperson, they are always in a habit of being on television, speaking to television, and scoring points over others. I'm sorry, I'm not here to score any points because I know the august crowd which is here to listen something very solid. And why I say so? See, the problem with the different political parties in this country and different political pundits and analysts, what wrong they committed, and not offense to anybody. When you look at Aam Aadmi Party, when you look at Anna Andolan from the conventional point of view, from the traditional mindset, you can't understand Aam Aadmi Party, you can never understand Anna movement. I still remember that there were people who, they were not people, the majority of the people who used to rubbish Anna movement when it used to happen. And when this Anna movement converted into the political party in Delhi itself, they were the topmost political anchors and the topmost political pundit. They used to say, this party, if opens an account in Delhi, I'll be surprised. And to the surprise of each and everybody, we got 28 seats. When we resigned on the question of Lokpal movement, Lokpal bill, and we lost all the seats in Delhi, again we were dubbed, again we were contemptuously looked at, that now this party is over, the movement is over, these are all some bubble in the history. And next time what happened? At the peak of his popularity, when Mr. Modi used to go to every state and used to win, in its own borough in Delhi, their number was reduced from 32 to 3. And that's when it is this phenomena which we all need to realize and to understand. What is this phenomena? This phenomena is irrespective of Arvind Kejriwal. This phenomena is irrespective of Aam Aadmi Party. This phenomena is irrespective of Arvind Kejriwal. This phenomena needs to be understood. What is this? Why this has happened in Delhi? And why this is again happening in Punjab? And I can tell you that Punjab again is going to surprise and shock many people in this country who are trying to look and trying to understand Aam Aadmi Party, or forget about Aam Aadmi Party, this new socio-political phenomena from the traditional point of view. And that's a problem lies. And that's why people are not able to fully understand and analyze this particular phenomena. So first we have to understand why Aam Aadmi Party has got 67 seats in Delhi, despite Narendra Modi being there and despite the so-called Chanakya of the century, Mr. Amit Shah, being there, despite 282 members of parliament being asked to supervise each and every constituency, despite the money bags and the muscle power poured in opened. Why? Just few individuals, they had no political experience, but it is because something is changing at the ground level. And it is this change which is shocking and surprising everybody. And that's what is this change? One, people don't like politicians on their face value. People are fed up with the politics because politics is synonymous with corruption. One. Secondly, the politics in this country, there is no rule of law. People are, in US, George Bush's daughter is caught, irrespective of the president's daughter, she will be penalized, she will be put, whatever action is to be taken. But in this country, when the councillor's daughter and son is caught, the police wala will go to his hair and will feel very obliged कि सर देखिए मैंने आपके बच्चे को कितना लाके रख दिया. Third is, this country is lot more open now. Every information is available. People are not as they used to be. I remember my father. My father was not a very confident person. My father wanted me to win the government job. There was a lot of insecurity in that generation. But the present generation doesn't suffer from any security, doesn't suffer from any colonial mindset. It is this new confident Indian. So these are the three things which we need to understand. If my dear friend want to understand through salary hikes, but he forgets the Lokpal bill. If he wants to understand the allegations which has been concocted, not realizing that this is one party which has sacked his own cabinet minister, and there was nothing in the media. There was nothing, nobody has raised the question. It is we found out and we decided to sack, not only sack, but also send a complaint to the CBI. It is we who first time in Indian history, and his minister was gracious enough to realize the fact that a project which was meant to be completed in 250 crores was completed in a record time in 150 crores. We saved 100 crores. This country has a tradition that you make a fund allocation of 250 crores. After 3 years, come back and say, this is too little. We can't finish in 250. So 250 has become 500. But we, from 200 to 150 and 200 to 50, we saved 350 crores in this country. So I'm saying, this is the new politics which is happening. Arvind Kejriwal is the chief minister. He's not having any ministry at all because he's saying my job is to coordinate and lead and to find solutions. Ministers should be delegated, responsibility should work. Look at the center, what is happening. No minister has any power to take any decision. All more than 3,000 files are lying at the Prime Minister office table. Nothing is working. It is we who have taken a tough decision that in Delhi, if the pollution has to be checked, let's take a firm stand. Do it. Try to work out. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, we'll find some other solution.
Okay, thank you, Ashutosh. The Sambit, coming back to you. I noticed that you also did not answer the question, so we'll call it one. Yeah, certainly I will come. You want to answer the question?
No, I think you are the moderator.
No,
you are the moderator.
Please hold the
question answer session. Let's have the question answer session.
Please hold the question, sir. We will get to the audience. We realize there's a tremendous amount of audience interest in this thing. But Sambit, coming back to you, both of you, the same criticism is going across the country, that there is a personality cult that is operating in both parties, that essentially there is a problem with dissent, there is a problem with letting other people take decisions, there's a problem with letting anybody else grow. At the same time, everybody keeps hearing that this is a large country, it's a diverse country, we need multiple people to lead multiple different thrusts of development in the country. What do you have to say for that? I mean, we have gone from a state chief minister to a national chief minister, it looks like.
A few things. I mean, like the proof of the pudding lies in eating. And now my good friend Mr. Ashutosh rightly said that he is not just the spokesperson, but he has to travel around the country, across the length and the breadth of the country, to lay down the organization of Aam Aadmi Party. If today, at the fag end of 2015, he has to travel across because the organization of Aam Aadmi Party does not exist across the country, they have to build it. Why were you contesting the election in 2014? You were contesting the Lok Sabha election in 2014, saying that you had an organizational structure. If you did not have an organizational structure and yet you were contesting the election, it was merely because you wanted to satisfy the satiety of power of a singular individual. And that is not what democracy is. Democracy is never about satisfying the satiety of ambitions. Secondly, you talk about Mr. Modi as a centralist figure who does not allow other ministers to function. Now, if I start giving examples in Delhi, I believe people would realize who is an actual centralist figure. From a public enterprise, the topic in fact is from Anna to Aam Aadmi Party. From a public enterprise to a private limited, this is what the journey is. The Aam Aadmi Party today has become one man's fiefdom. The Anna movement was people's movement. That's the reason as to why people feel connected with Anna's movement. But the big question is, where is the peg? The peg was Anna. Anna is no more there in this movement. Anna has left you. You saw to it that Anna left. All those who formed the base of your movement. Kiran Bedi was not there. She was driven out. Santosh Hegde, day before yesterday, was speaking against you, against the Lokpal. It's not Sambit Patra or any spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party criticizing your Lokpal. Your Lokpal is being criticized by the very people who are dreaming for a good Lokpal along with you. Mr. Santosh Hegde being one of the front runners in that. Day before yesterday, he was criticizing your Lokpal. Thirdly, where is Yogendra Yadav, who was a pillar of your electioneering? Where is Santi Bhushan ji, who gave the first donation, the biggest chunk of donation to the IAC movement? Where is Prashant Bhushan ji? Your own people have been lost. And you say that you are not a centralist figure? It is only about one man's, I would not say ambition though, because it's a democratic country, he has a right to ambition. He has a right to become the chief minister, he has a right to becoming the prime minister in the future, of dreaming to become the prime minister. This is a democratic country. But to say that Mr. Modi is centralist and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is selfless Mother Teresa is absolutely wrong.
Okay.
See,
Your turn.
I knew that this is going to happen. While I was speaking at first, what did I say? I say, irrespective of Anna Hazare, irrespective of Arvind Kejriwal, and irrespective of Aam Aadmi Party. I was talking about a socio-political phenomenon. I was not talking about the individual. My dear friend, does he have the patience and the guts to say, BJP irrespective of Narendra Modi or irrespective of something else? What I'm saying is, Aam Aadmi Party, when there was a break happened between Anna Hazare and and Arvind Kejriwal and his team, he said, there are two ways of fighting corruption. I will taking the social route and you are taking a political route. That's the understanding. I am saying this, that irrespective of Arvind Kejriwal, and please mark my word, irrespective of Arvind Kejriwal, this phenomena will grow and persist. This is something else happening. Please don't try to give a political color we are here for the academic discussion. We are here to understand the socio-political phenomena. Are we ready to accept that or not? That's a fundamental question. Are we ready to it is very fascinating to hear from him that where is Shanti Bhushan, where is Yogendra Yadav, where is Prashant Bhushan, where is Santosh Hegde? I can equally say what Mr. Lalkesh Advani, Murli Manohar JC has been talking about Mr. Narendra Modi. I did not bring these questions, not once but many times. Lalkesh Advani, I remember on 13 September 2013, when the prime ministerial candidate of the BJP was to be announced, he did not attend the parliamentary board meeting. Rather, he gave a letter and said, the party has deviated from the ideals of Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, and that is when Lalkesh Advani was the tallest leader ever BJP has, irrespective of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Narendra Modi. I did not bring these issues. But they want to bring these issues because they have nothing substantial to say and talk about Aam Aadmi Party and this socio-political phenomena. And I'm telling you this, please understand this. Please understand this. BJP has the same arrogance. The Congress has the same arrogance in 2013. Same arrogance. They were in the denial mood. The country showed them the door. Now the party which used to rule this country, nobody used to challenge them, now reduced to 44 seats. Please understand this. It is this new socio-political phenomena which is partly has brought Narendra Modi at the helm of the affairs, and country needs an answers from them, the promises you made. If you will not deliver, if you don't do, if you still live in denial, you will also be dumped into the history. And if Aam Aadmi Party also lives in denial, and if Aam Aadmi Party doesn't deliver, if Aam Aadmi Party doesn't respect the sentiments of this socio-political phenomena, Aam Aadmi Party will also be dumped into the history. I have the guts to say this. Do you have the guts to say this? And say this to the people. I am saying politics, the historical forces have taken a different concrete shape. We have to realize that as an enlightened individuals. And it is whether Arvind Kejriwal is there, whether Narendra Modi was there, it will not matter. Country is moving and moving fast.
But that's the question, isn't it? Is it changing? Okay, let's accept, as you say, that it's changing so fast. But is it too fast for you? Are you able to respond to it well enough to say, as it is changing, that we can improve the quality of governance and what people want to in response to that?
I think it's a very valid question. The propagandist has one thing to talk about Aam Aadmi Party, that Aam Aadmi Party doesn't know how to govern. Imagine, firstly, it is disrespect to the people of Delhi. That again and again he was saying this. The party which was dumped as chief ministers were dumped, that he doesn't know how to govern. The Delhi people have shown faith in that particular leader and that particular party, and those who used to talk about that they are expert in governance, they were reduced from 32 to 3. So firstly, please do not disrespect the mandate of the people.
1 minute.
Please let me complete it.
Yes.
We are not here on the TV debate to fight with each other. Secondly, it's a different model which is coming up. and please give me some time. I would like to delve on this because this is a favorite topic I'd like to speak. Since 1960, since independence, this is 68 years of independence. In last 68 years, what we have done? You go to the US, you go to the Europe. There, in political discourse, there is no discussion about the basic education. There is no discussion about the primary health. But in the last 68 years, the fundamentals of a civil society, education and the health has been neglected like anything. We have not done anything. There are places in Delhi, Devli, Sangam, Bihar, where 24 घंटे 2-2, 3-3 दिन पानी नहीं आता. This is happening in Delhi. What is this? Who has done this? Why the political class is not addressed? What Aam Aadmi Party believes and does? Aam Aadmi Party believes that physical infrastructure is important. But unless we create human infrastructures, unless we create human capital, this physical infrastructure, physical capital will not matter. Roads, flyovers, these are important. That is why Aam Aadmi Party in its first budget has increased the education budget by 106%, first time in Indian history. We have improved our health budget by 45%. These are the two fundamentals. We are making 1,000 mohalla clinics in Delhi. We have just converted a hospital which was supposed to be made by up 200 crores of only 200 beds. In the same budget, we have increased the number of beds to 800. If it is possible, why in this country this is happening in 200? One government is making only 200 bed hospital. Another in the same budget is making 800. That's a fundamental question we should ask. And that's why we believe that human capital is more important. Physical capital will follow. And
So
that's the model
it's a fair response, Sambit. And I want to add to that.
Okay.
He's also saying that in many other states of the country and now in the national government too, you are responsible, have been responsible for creating the same human capital. Why didn't you do it?
First, Mr. Ashutosh said that don't speak against the Aam Aadmi Party because that is defying the mandate, that is abusing the people of Delhi. Similarly, I would say, please don't speak against the Bharatiya Janata Party because that is defying the Indians and that is defying the whole of the country. Because it's not that we have come from Mars. We have been given a mandate by the people of this country and we are in governance because of the mandate of the people of this country. Secondly, you rightly spoke that for a real political party to evolve in due course of time, for them to really go to a next level, what you require is a human infrastructure. One needs to invest in the human infrastructure. I absolutely agree with this count. But Mr. Ashutosh and the people of Bangalore, let me tell you, इसी को हिंदी में तपस्या कहते हैं. ये 2 दिन में नहीं होता है. This creation of a human infrastructure is not a matter of 2 days. If you create human infrastructure in a time period of, say, a month, 6 months, or a year, then what lies ahead is nothing but devastation. The example is, most of the people in the Aam Aadmi Party's legislation today, go to the MLAs, who are they? Are they the creation of the Aam Aadmi Party? Is it the infrastructure that they built? No. They are the disgruntled people of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress who did not get tickets. In our party, they shifted there. So you made them? No. It is a dissatisfaction within these people. They found an entry into your political party. They contested and they won, including the speaker.
What you did.
What you did.
I was not interjecting.
What you did.
I was not
No.
interjecting
Let him finish.
anyone, and I think there should be a fair share of time to both the parties.
Fair enough. You can ask
Yes.
about this Chief Minister
Yes.
later.
You can ask about any question to me, but you have no right to ask what you did, because Mr. Arvind Kejriwal used this phrase quite often. ये सब चोर हैं, ये सब चोर हैं और मैं ही ठीक हूँ. Who said that? So please don't ask this question what you did, because after all you are the only supernatural power in this world and who have done everything right. So whatever we may have done, whatever we may have erred, you have no right to err. Secondly, you say that you have done what nots for Delhi. I mean, you have created history in education. You have given bijli, pani and everything within these 8 months. Impossible though. Wi-Fi, I don't know whether a single person is getting Wi-Fi or not in Delhi. But you say you have done everything. If I start calculating these at the tip of my fingers as to what the Modi government has done, you would say I'm being arrogant. You said that you have benefited this country by some 200 crore rupees. By that standard, I would revisit the auctioning of the 2G and the coal blocks. I would say that we have benefited this country in a short span of time by 3 lakh crore rupees, and I would not be wrong in that. So please, I'll tell you very frankly, governance is not a stitch here and a stitch there. You derive a subsidy from this pocket and give it to that pocket and you say this is historic governance. No. You rightly pointed out that this is an academic discussion. And in academic discussions, we should really reach the conclusion that rhetorics do not form governance. That for the first time in the history of India, education has been revamped. No. When these students whom you claim have found new schools, when they become the future citizen of this country, educated, empowered, and aware, and when they speak, they will take the name of your government, and then you realize that, well, yes, what we have done is governance. Governance is not for Sambit, Patra, and Ashutosh to come and shout at top of voice. It is for the citizens to say whether they have got this governance delivered at their doorstep or they have not got it. And what has happened in this television era of this frequent slugfest, as Ashwin rightly points out, is a lot of rhetorics. Day in and day out of rhetorics. I'm astonished. As a young man, I feel we should be silent. We should be cool. हिंदी में कहते हैं कि जो आगे बढ़ता है ना, उसमें ठहराव होता है, उसमें तप होता है, उसमें शक्ति होती है. और बड़े लोगों में कभी चिल्लाना नहीं होना चाहिए, वो शांत होना चाहिए. कितना चिल्लाने लगे हम लोग सब. Every evening I am shouting, you are shouting, Arvind Kejriwal is shouting. Why are we shouting? Can't we be cool? No, because rhetorics has dominated. Please, if you want to change, look within. Within yourself lies the message. You think yourself. Didn't you say, yesterday I was reading out to you yourself in Aaj Tak channel, 7th of July 2013, did not Mr. Arvind Kejriwal sign an affidavit? What were the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, 7 points were there in the affidavit? Number 1 point was in Hindi. मैं लाल बत्ती गाड़ी नहीं लूंगा, oblique लूंगी. Number 2 was मैं सरकारी बंगला नहीं लूंगा, oblique लूंगी. मैं तनख्वाह नहीं लूंगा, oblique लूंगी. कहाँ चला गया? What happened? नहीं लूंगा, नहीं लूंगी, सब कुछ लूंगा. From we don't want anything to we want everything. No. I agree that you need a house. I agree you need a car to travel. I agree that you need a salary also. But why promise a moon when you cannot deliver anything? Why did you promise all these things? Why did you say ye sab chor hai? You said, just a second, you said 326 pages of evidences against Sheila Dikshit. The day we come to power, this Sheila Dikshit will be thrown behind bar. And the day we come to power and Mukesh Ambani or Anil Ambani lands in Delhi, they would be nabbed in the airport and would be thrown to jail. What happened? Less space in jail. Jail mein sthan kam ho gaya. When Harshvardhan ji was asking, where is Sheila Dikshit? What will happen to her? Evidence laiye, hamare paas to nahi hai. We don't have evidence. Please bring what happened to that black suitcase. So please, governance, people have given you the mandate. Govern. Governance will speak for itself. Don't throw these empty rhetorics and this. Don't try to bring in this personality cult. Modi is Modi because he has done what he has done. Arvind Kejriwal is Arvind Kejriwal because he has done what he has done. Let people judge that. Let not spokesperson shout at the top of their voice saying who is great and who is not.
Well, I find it quite interesting. Both of you are saying don't shout, but both of you continue to shout.
I agree. Because we live in a TV era. See, it's a very.
What is it about television that makes you shout?
See, I can understand because I was a TV anchor myself.
They have mics.
When I was a TV anchor, the shouting was less. Now it has suddenly the decibel level has gone up. See, on the more substantive issues. See, frankly speaking, as I said earlier also, that are we willing to analyze, because what my friend is indulging into the sophistry, the rhetorics. He's talking about everything, not about what his government or other government is supposed to do. May I ask one just simple question? You are asking too many questions. May I ask just one simple question? Your Prime Minister has said and our Prime Minister has said, na khaunga, na khane dunga. Where is the Lokpal in the last 1.5 years? Where it has to be appointed. Where is it is? In the last 13 years when he was the Chief Minister in Gujarat, no Lokayukt was ever appointed. So last 15 years, you're talking about corruption, but Nihal Chand is there in your cabinet. A woman in the Jaipur has, in a press conference, alleged about rape. He's there in the cabinet. You talk about shouting, about Aam Aadmi Party. What your people are doing in Dadri. Every day you are visiting atmosphere. Have you forgotten Yogi Adityanath? Have you forgotten Sangeet Som? Have you forgotten all those people, the Sakshi Maharaj, who are trying to get the icon of Nathuram Godse instead of Mahatma Gandhi, we've forgotten? Have you forgotten the kind of intolerance in this country has risen? And what if you say something? No, don't say anything, because India is not tolerant. Nobody is saying India is intolerant. People are saying a section of the society belong to you. They have become intolerant. You can't write a word on the social media. You'll get all kinds of your mother, sister, all kinds of abuses will be there. And those people are followed by whom? Our own Prime Minister. You're talking about what? This country will survive if we forget to respect the diversity of this country. If we forget to respect the pluralism in this country, if you think that a particular community has to live like a second-rate citizen, my dear friend, this country is doomed or your party is doomed. Please understand, this country belongs to Mahatma Gandhi. This country belongs to the Hindus, Muslims, Sikh, NSI, everybody. This country does not belong to one particular community, which you try to say. And you, the Prime Minister has, I'm sorry to use this word, the Prime Minister did not speak for 10 days on Dadri. The President of India has to speak, and then he said something. And again, he said, मैं मना करूंगा. आपके मना करने के बावजूद भी लोग बोल रहे हैं, या तो आप प्राइम मिनिस्टर कॉम्पिटेंट नहीं है, या आप चाहते हैं कि वो जो बोल रहे हैं वो बोलते रहें, देश के अंदर नफरत का माहौल बनता रहे. मैं ये बिलीव करने के लिए तैयार नहीं हूं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहेंगे और उनके पार्टी के लोग नहीं बोलेंगे. रोज पार्टी के लोगों को बुला के समझाया जाता, आप मत बोलो. फिर साक्षी महाराज बोलते, फिर पता चला उधर से कोई बोलता. So please, this duality should end. You and I, your party and my party, the country is looking at. That's what I'm saying. The country is more open. Everybody knows what is happening where. You have to respect the mandate of the Delhi. I have to respect the mandate which is given to your country. Arvind Kejriwal has to deliver in Delhi. You have to deliver at the all India level. I'm not bothered whether the Prime Minister is going every now and then to this country, at that country. That is not my job. Finally, he has to deliver. And finally, Arvind also has to deliver. If we don't deliver, we don't realize this, that the people's representative, if they don't deliver, they are doomed. And that is a lesson for me. That is a lesson for you.
Well, we have a whole session on this tolerance debate tomorrow, but because he raised it, I suppose I should give you at least one chance to say something about it. It is a fair question that it's doing the rounds, not just because some people raised it. There are real incidents going around. What do you have to say about that?
Ashwin, every question in democracy is a fair question. That's the beauty of democracy, and yes, I have to answer them because I'm in government. Number one, as far as the intolerance is concerned, the irony is, every morning a set of people get up, gargle, and they start abusing us. Early morning, 6 o'clock, you open the television, they would be saying, "Ye Modi badmash, ye BJP badmash, sab badmash, everyone is intolerant, and look, you're abusing us morning till night. For 13 years, Mr. Modi got abused, and you are saying that we are intolerant? How is it that we are intolerant? We are tolerating every abuse hurled at us. We are giving you answers. We are fairly answering you. What happened in Dadri? You say that Prime Minister did not speak for 10 days. For 15 days, the Uttar Pradesh government did not submit a writing answer in written. An answer was sought from Uttar Pradesh government because Uttar Pradesh does not have a Bharatiya Janata Party government. It has a Samajwadi Party government. Now, I tell you, if the Prime Minister would have spoken the very next day of Dadri, which was an absolutely horrendous thing to happen in this country, if the Prime Minister would have spoken the next day, the very same people who are having this intolerance debate, they would have cried, look, the Prime Minister has spoken out of turn. He wants to impose a president's rule in Uttar Pradesh. So before even the Uttar Pradesh government speaks, here is a Prime Minister who starts speaking. The Prime Minister spoke once the report was submitted by the Samajwadi Party government. The report does not have a mention of beef. The report does not have a mention of even 302. It does not have a mention of 302. Do you mean to say we are in cahoots with the Samajwadi Party government? Absolutely no. We are all in a habit of speaking out of the turn. We should not do this. As far as a larger perspective is concerned, I tell you, we are not going to sell this kind of politics to the people. People are fairly aware. They are watching the day-to-day activity of all the government. They are watching as to what Mr. Modi is doing for the country. They are seeing as to what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is doing. There was a news report recently that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is shifting his base to Punjab for a few months before the election. and you saying, trying to play a high moral ground, saying Mr. Arvind Kejriwal did not take any portfolios. वो तो नाम के मुख्यमंत्री हैं. Why should he be मुख्यमंत्री for namesake? He is a chief minister. He should be the chief minister. Why should there be a namesake chief minister? If the prime minister tomorrow says, I'll just be a prime minister for namesake, let others function, I would not do anything. I will just go around the country and see if other ministers are functioning. Will you accept that? He is a namesake chief minister because he wants to expand his base, because he wants to go to Punjab and see to it that the elections are being contested there. So please don't try to buy a high moral ground there. And as far as tolerance is concerned, this is a tolerant country. Please, for God's sake, don't try to bring about any kind of divide.
I want to bring the conversation to one other thing. You know, we sort of phrase this as a continuation from the anti-corruption movement to a great public demand for better quality governance across the country. How do you see the election in Bihar? As a continuation of the thing, or as something else going on that, you know, is it fair to say that people want good governance, that's why they chose Nitish Kumar? Or is it fair to say that something else is happening that's distorting that larger continuum?
Yes, as far as anti-corruption is concerned, I just forgot to mention a single point in the last topic. So I'll just take 50 seconds over here. Ashutosh ji was mentioning about one Nihal Chand. Let me remind you, Nihal Chand, who is a minister right now, in fact, a thorough investigation was conducted by the Congress government then. Ashok Gehlot was a chief minister. By the police then, a clean chit was given by 3 courts. So it's not that he's a rapist and he's a corrupt man who is functioning as a minister. Secondly, remember there is a minister in there was a minister rather, the law minister, Jitendra Tomar. In fact, till the last moment, till he was not sent to Tihar, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was batting for him, saying that I vouch for Mr. Jitendra Tomar, all his certificates are right. But in the last moment when he was thrown behind the bars by the court of the country, Mr. Kejriwal says, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था. I was in dark. From knowing everything to be kept in dark. This is what is the travel from Anna days to AAP days. Anyhow, as far as what happened in Bihar. So we cannot buy excuses. I cannot buy excuse for our defeat in Bihar. I would say yes, to concede defeat and to be humble in defeat, to introspect what the reasons for defeat were, would be the bestest way in politics, and we are doing it. We had seen as the vote percentage of all the constituents of the Mahagathbandhan in the Lok Sabha elections also, and we have seen when they came together, let me concede, we felt that probably the vote transfer would not take place. The MY factor was talked about, but we felt very seriously that this transfer of Mr. Lalu's vote to Mr. Nitish would not take place. It took place. It is people's judgment. We have to accept people's judgment with all humility and graciousness, and we do that. But in the Bihar's election also, there is a great lesson in Delhi. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal sided with the Mahagathbandhan. This speaks a lot. Well, yes, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, I spoke in rhetorics in my first opening comment that your list that had corrupt people, number 1 in the list was Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. You supported Nitish Kumar knowing very well that in this Mahagathbandhan are the people whom you were branding corrupt. Lalu Prasad Yadav was the number 1 corrupt. Congress, umpteen number of Congress leaders who were in the list that you had released, in fact was in the Mahagathbandhan. Yet you support this Mahagathbandhan only proves the point that it is an ambition-driven Aam Aadmi Party. It is ambition which drives you, not rectification. I tell that's the reason as to why I call this tapasya. It would take eons and ages to come to power if you really want to improvise on things. Things that happen overnight are to be looked with suspicion.
Well, Ashutosh, you know, I really have to say this. As someone, I gave a year and a half of my life for India against corruption, and I wasn't particularly happy to see Arvind with Lalu Yadav. What do you have to say about that?
See, first of all, let me tell you, because this question has been raised again and again and again, I'll request my dear friend, Mr. Sambit Patra, to give one example, even one phone call which has ever been made from Arvind Kejriwal to Lalu Prasad Yadav. And I also want to ask him, does he believe that Nitish Kumar is a dishonest? Is he corrupt? Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal has spoken to Nitish Kumar. The support was to Nitish Kumar and only Nitish Kumar, nobody else. And we are not doing any hanky-panky job behind the curtain. It's not that somebody was caught somewhere. We openly said it and we openly did it. There's nothing wrong in it supporting Nitish Kumar. Nitish Kumar is an honest politician. We believe it. But BJP has a habit of creating propaganda where there is none. And that's a problem with them because sometimes they create a myth and they become prisoner of that particular myth. And I'm again saying this. People are watching us. History is judging us. Who is intolerant, who is not intolerant, who believes in the personality cult, who is doing, who is not doing. Let the people judge it. I'm saying Bihar election is a great leveler for everybody. And we have to understand this. Why BJP, which got unprecedented mandate, 282 seats, even they did not dream of. They were thinking that they will get something around 230, 240, but 282 they got. Because people believed in at that point of time. They won Haryana, they won Maharashtra. They had a fair victory in Jammu and Kashmir and also in Jharkhand. Why you lost so badly in Delhi? 67 seats out of 70. In Bihar, 178 out of 240. 2 consecutive elections. 2 honest politicians. Why did your party lose so badly? It's a humiliating defeat. Are you willing to understand? Are you trying to tell me that because the vote did not transfer? What happened in Delhi? Whose vote transfer? Whose vote did not transfer? The gap between your and our percentage was, our was 54%, you were just 32%. The gap was 22%. There was no question of transferring vote. So are you willing to honestly introspect the fact that why your party lost so badly and so humiliatingly? If not, then I'm sorry. You are living in a denial mode. But the fact, again I'm saying, that your party has been asked by the people to govern for 5 years. Please govern. I'm not getting into the rhetoric. I'm not saying why he's wearing 10 lakh ka suit, why he's living all the time in the US. I'm not saying all that. Because Chief Minister, when I said we are creating a new model of governance. A Mukhyamentri's job is to coordinate, to lead, to take initiative, to monitor, and he's making fun of that. If today the position of the Home Minister of the country is, he cannot take one single decision, and I can tell you because I have been journalist for 23 years. I know how the cabinet ministers are feeling suffocated. They are not allowed to take a single decisions. Their secretaries are directly talking to the Prime Minister. Ministers do not know what is happening in their cabinet. This is a fact. Okay, if you are not willing to believe this, I will. And are trying to make fun of another chief minister, I'm sorry, you are still living in denial mode, because in your party, a word against Modi, a word of criticism will go against you. In my party, I can openly criticize my leadership.
Well, Sambit, I'm going to give you a chance to respond to that.
Yes.
But after Sambit responds, we will take questions from the audience. So those of you who have questions, I think there's some way of organizing it through the mics. Please, only people with the mic ask questions, but let me respond. First, let him respond, sir, and then we'll come to you.
Number one, it appears that Mr. Ashutosh is still a journalist because he knows what Mr. Advani thinks. Mr. Advani, in fact, speaks to him.
He wrote a letter.
Just a second, sir.
He wrote a letter, not thinking.
Just a second, I was not in the middle. He knows what Mr. Advani thinks. He knows what our cabinet ministers think within themselves. They are feeling suffocated. They do not like anything. It's as if Mr. Ashutosh, you should be careful. Because if Mr. Arvind Kejriwal goes through this, he will see you as a mole of BJP in your party. Who knows everything about what's happening within Bharatiya Janata Party. And who is ready to criticize Arvind Kejriwal. He has at least 5 times said that he is ready to criticize Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. What was Mr. Prashant Bhushan doing? He was criticizing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. What happened to him? What was Mr. Yogendra Yadav doing? He was criticizing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. What happened to him? There are 10 examples. What was Mr. Santosh Hegde doing? Criticizing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. What happened to him? So 10 examples I will give of the people who tried to obliquely criticize, leave aside directly criticize, obliquely criticize Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. So what happened to them? I do not wish the same fate of you, Mr. Ashutosh. So please don't
worry
criticize.
about me, Sambit.
So
don't
please,
worry about me.
No, please don't
worry about me.
No. Please don't criticize your guru. Please talk high of him. We have no problems. Please, yes.
So let him ask
the question.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate all the 3 of you for opening up this. everyone sitting here is a thinker, because that's why we are here in this pandal. Both of you have analyzed very well. Thank you very much. But when I study Indian politics for the last 50 years, Indian politics stands on two platforms. One is hypocrisy. The other one is functioning anarchy. This is Indian politics. Okay. From this angle, when we look at the last 5 years, I agree with Ashutosh ji that from Anna Hazare to Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party, a new Hawa was created in India. That was hope of the young generation of India. But what is happening to that hope today? That is what Mr. Patra is saying. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Two actions of Aam Aadmi Party, I want to refer to two actions. The moment Kejriwal came to power, the two great people who supported him all through were thrown out. The most unbelievable blunder of Indian politics was that we never have a chance to work as a team in this country except now in the IT/BT sector. Indian politics is pulling each other. You know the crab story? If you put 50 crabs in a bucket of water, what will happen? That is what our politics is. Therefore, the first action, throwing of the two companions, comrades of Kejriwal, was the first dig of the grave of AAP. Number two, what happened 2 days ago? You explained it. That's what politics of Indian hypocrisy. We, the rulers, the lawmakers, MLAs, MPs, ministers, we are saying that we are the sevaks of the people of India. And if the sevaks of the people of India take 400% salary extra last today, what does that indicate for the future of India? That's my question. You have to analyze the people of India. Everybody sitting here represents the people's ideas of this country. That's what I am here for. Everybody is a thinker here, not 5-year-old primary school children. Or both the political parties or three political parties, whatever they have to analyze this question.
So let them answer the question.
So the question is, how are you going to answer to the people of India the 400% salary, 12 lakhs rupees for the new cars and helicopter, etc., etc. That rules the country, and that will determine the future of AAP.
Okay.
Sir, let me say this with all humbleness with me. I think MLAs and MP in this country for the last 68 years, they didn't need salary. Because the salary was nothing for them. They were coming and to do corruption and looting all kinds of things. That's why the politicians' image in this country has gone down. Nobody is like to respect them. But for the honest politics, you need your people's representative to have a fair salary. And this is, I'm saying with utmost humbleness. In Delhi, an MLA was getting 12,000 rupees as a basic. That has been increased by 400%. It is now 50,000. Do you believe that 50,000 is a salary which is so big that they will be leading a lavish life? Others are allowances. What are those allowances? Secretariat allowances, 70,000. This secretariat allowances means what? 30,000 will go to the computer operator, 30,000 to the researcher, 10,000 to the office assistant. This 70,000, and believe me, every MLA's office does not have only 3, more than 3. They have to run the office. They need money to run that. If you have corrupt money, you have black money, you don't need salary. 30,000 is the conveyance allowance, is a communication allowances. You mean to say that that MLA should not be making phone calls, should not be receiving phone calls? There is an allowances for the taxis as well as for the conveyance. Every MLA has to visit his constituency. Every MLA on a daily basis has to entertain more than 100 people in his office or at his home. And if you offer him a cup of tea, it amounts to 1,000 rupees per day. Rakhi Birlan and Raju Dhingan, who live into the Jhuggi Jhopadis, they do not have that kind of money to offer coffee and tea to everybody coming to their places. And that's what I'm saying. It might be understood today, because I still remember Mr. P.S. Deshmukh, when the Constituent Assembly was debating this particular issue, he said, this is the bitterest truth, that this will always be misunderstood. Mr. M.S. Mavalankar, the first speaker of this country, when he said that, where we differ, Mr. Somnath Chatterjee, as a Speaker of the House, he said the MLAs and MPs should not be raising their salaries. There should be an expert committee for that. In 2006 and 2010, the Parliament did not execute a committee, they just enhanced it. In the first time in Indian history, we, Aam Aadmi Party's Assembly, constituted a panel of experts, 3 panel of experts. One, the Secretary General of the Parliament, another a journalist, another a jurist. These are the 3 gentlemen, respected figure of the society. They had recommended these things. I'm saying this, today it might be misunderstood. But if you want an honest politician to function, it is important that they should have a reasonable salary to look after their family, to look after their kids, to look after their constituency. And please believe me, I was the one who was having a dream salary today, and I was running on a big car. Today I'm driving my own Alto. I do not know how if I don't have kids. If I had kids, how would have my kids got the education? I think the time has come when we should realize this. The clapping is very, you can clap. You can make fun of everybody. But please understand this. For honest politics, reasonable salary is important. And if you break up, understand, you will realize this.
A few important things I'll add in this. Agreeing with Ashutosh.
You talked about the 12 lakhs car. It's a loan. It's not a part of the salary. Those who can afford, they can take that loan. Those who can't, they will not take those loans, because we have to refund, we have to return back. And for every allowances, you have to produce the actual bills.
No, Ashutosh, let me. Agreeing with Ashutosh that, well, yes, every profession needs a minimal salary and remunerations, or else you would not be able to function. And naturally, when the legislators are working, they need remunerations and they need salaries, decent ones. 2 or 3 points. Number one, to say that the salary was 12,000 rupees is wrong. Many over here may be salaried class. Basic salary along with perks is something totally different. Just don't project the basic salary. It was approximately 88,000 rupees in Delhi Assembly. Today it's going to be 2,35,000 rupees. Number two, yesterday I was hearing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal on the floor of Legislative Assembly justifying this salary hike. And when he was asked a question, in fact, there was no one to ask a question. He was referring to a question which was raised in television channel, that the Prime Minister gets a salary less than Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. I was astonished, Mr. Ashutosh, to hear to what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal said. मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा क्योंकि उन्होंने हिंदी में कहा. अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने ऑन रिकॉर्ड कहा, मुझे शर्म आती है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री को 1 लाख रुपया तनख्वाह मिलता है. 1 लाख रुपया में क्या होता है आजकल? You are Aam Aadmi, Ashutosh. You are Aam Aadmi Party's chief minister. I believe 50% of people, or more than 50% of people over here, would be getting salary approximately akin to 1 lakh rupees, or probably less than 1 lakh rupees. If 1 lakh rupees is nothing, and your chief minister, my chief minister, feels ashamed that the prime minister and the president gets 1 lakh rupees, then please introspect. Why did you call yourself Aam Aadmi Party? You should have easily called yourself CEO Party. We had no problem. Secondly,
again,
please let me complete. I was not.
Let me answer this.
Let me complete, sir. Secondly, do you know in the perks, you have one part where 3 lakh rupees would be given to each MLA per year for foreign tour. Previously, they used to get 50,000 rupees per legislator to tour within this country. Now they have lifted this cap. You may tour within the country or may go outside, but the money that would be reimbursed would be 3 lakh rupees. I don't understand in the wildest of dream as to how the Aam Aadmi of Delhi, or India for that matter of purpose, would be affected in a positive way if Ashutosh or I go to Brussels or Iceland. How Delhi people would be affected in a positive way, I do not understand. 3 lakh rupees there. Hypocrisy. Sir spoke about hypocrisy. 110%, no 400%. I agree with him. 400% I agree with him. The political scenario of this country is absolutely hypocritical. Let me give you a living example of it. Yesterday on 4 debates, I and Ashutosh were together. 3 times Mr. Ashutosh asked me one question. I could not answer you then, let me answer it today. Mr. Ashutosh questioned me as to why the Prime Minister wears such gaudy clothes. As to why the Prime Minister wears such reflective and good-looking clothes. This is the hypocrisy of the country, and let me derive a singular phrase from Mr. Modi's speech. When Mr. Modi said that India is now, sorry to state that India is now and was in a state of celebrating poverty. Why should we be celebrating poverty? It is bad. It's bad to be in a state of poverty. We should elevate ourselves from the state of poverty. And over here, the situation is such that the politicians are supposed to look poor. You may not be poor, but you're supposed to look poor. You're supposed to appear in tattered clothes. You're supposed to wear oversized shirt. You are supposed to wear a chappal. You are supposed to wear you're supposed to design all this. It's not that the pant that you wear and the shirt that you wear is oversized. You're supposed to design all this so that you look like R.K. Lakshman's common man. Because after all, you are a common man. That's what you have quoted. Why this hypocrisy? My Prime Minister, wherever he goes, he represents my country. And let me tell you today, candidly, after Indira Gandhi, I find Mr. Narendra Modi, when he goes and represents our country outside, I feel proud that, well, yes, here is an Indian who is marching ahead of every other politician. It gives me a sense of pride.
Hold on. Just a second. You guys appear to be meeting on debates daily, so you rebut him tomorrow. We'll give one more person from the audience a chance to ask a question.
Because it will be unfair in your part to not...
Okay, Murli, hold on for a second. Let him
Firstly, he again misled. My dear friend Sambit Patra is a great in terms of misleading people.
Oh,
he said the salary is 88,000. He's not saying that 12,000 is a basic, rest are allowances. 50,000 is a basic, rest are the allowances. So please don't say 88,000 is a salary. Second thing, I did not raise the question that the why Prime Minister is wearing such gaudy clothes. No, I have no issues with that. I like good clothes. I like to wear those clothes. I ask a simple question. A man, and again I said I didn't want to say that on television. Today you forced me to say this again. You are the culprit. That the man whose salary is just 50,000. A man, please listen this carefully. A man whose salary is just 50,000. How can he changing clothes thrice a day? From where these clothes are coming? Who is funding this? Can you afford? I'm asking all of you. Can you afford 3 clothes a day? Three clothes in 50,000 salary? No, I can't afford.
Okay.
So I'm saying this. The fundamental question is, a man who's getting 50,000 salary per month cannot change 3 clothes a day and 36 in 5 days in a conference. That's the question you're just asking.
Okay, I think we have to close now.
If you want a clean politics, honest politics,
now let the
give
clothes
them
hang
enough
in the
salary to
hangers.
live.
Let's close it.
On this note, when I'm getting very worried about my own clothes, actually they're borrowed. It's been an extremely interesting session. I think some golfers there would have dropped their irons and come.
Hold on. We've got one person with the mic. Let him finish if you want.
Can we have a very quick question and answer to that?
Okay.
One question. The rhetorics aside, I would think that both the central government and the state government are doing a fair job. You know, for instance, Piyush Goyal is doing a good job and Suresh Prabhu are doing good job, and I think your public toilets and health sanitation work, etc., I think you're doing fairly good jobs. Okay. But these two governments are doing fairly good job. But in our city's government and our state government are both the pits. Okay, and you had this Gadbandhan, Mahagadbandhan with Nitish Kumar. Why couldn't you have a Gadbandhan with our Lok Satta and contest the elections here and make life for us a little better? I just couldn't understand. Wasn't it largely individual these issues? Thank you. I would like your...
So we are not in alliance with any political party. That's the principle and stand we have taken right now. We have not supported, we are not in alliance with any political party as such. Nitish Kumar, it's an only oral support that he stood with. That's all. Our candidate, our people did not campaign for him. None of our leader had gone Bihar and campaigned for him. Please understand that.
One question, Mahesh ji, one last question, half a second. This question is actually addressed to Mr. Ashutosh. I have been actually a student leader from our NITK Suratkal days and also IFT days. From that day, I have been actually aspiring to become a leader and at least try to contribute something to the country. I have not been able to, because the first time I wanted to contest an election, my father said, "Where is your money?" Okay, now I want to ask you one question. What is the fast forward so that at least I can go to the parliament and represent and do something for the nation building? Is sitting with Anna and hugging Lalu the answer?
I can tell you the fast forward, you know what? Their member of parliament, Mr. R.K. Singh, has said tickets are bought and sold. In our party, you can't buy.
Okay, I think no, please, let's...
You got a suitcase, you should go to the BJP.
And
You will get a ticket.
Ashwin,
Let's
if you could
thank both
summarize.
Ashutosh and Sambit for being reasonably good at deflecting all the questions that were asked of them, and each answering the other's question better than their own. Thank you very much, both of you guys. Tomorrow you can continue the rest of your debate.
Thank you. And
It was really wonderful being here. I'm really feel honored to be here. Thank you so much for listening me so patiently.
And Bangaloreans, if you want them to give them a feel of Bangalore, take them around on the roads, in the traffic, on the potholes, and get answers to some more questions. Thank you so much. We close from this section, from the right wing, we close for today. See you again tomorrow morning. Good night.